Hello everyone and thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name is Panzer and today we're going to be talking all about patch 7.2. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. According to John Haidt, this year at BlizzCon 2016, patch 7.2 is set to be the largest content patch ever in the history of World of Warcraft.
But 7.2 is a huge patch. It's one of the biggest ones we've ever done.
As with any other major content patch in World of Warcraft, 7.2 will be bringing some class balance and tuning changes to the game. Now, it is very early in the PTR cycle, so everything is highly tentative and subject to change. Plus, in the whole interest of time thing, I'm not going to go over all of that stuff in this video. Instead, I will have links in the information below if you would like to do more research on your class, inspect to see what's going on, or really any of the other changes in 7.2, because I'm pretty sure you can read. I think you can. I believe in you. Since the introduction of Legion, we have seen World of Warcraft become a little bit more like Diablo every single day, and patch 7.2 is no exception to that rule. In fact, there will be new Paragon reputation systems which will allow players to go beyond Exalted and earn additional rewards with Broken Isle factions. So if you're already Exalted with, say, Azuna or High Mountain or whatever it may be, make sure you're still hanging on to those rep tokens that you're getting from Emissary Quest or whatever, because you're gonna want them later. At least, I would assume you would want them later. I don't see why you wouldn't want them later. Legion introduced a bunch of visual updates and animations for various classes in World of Warcraft, and 7.2 will continue that trend, bringing new visual updates for Hunters, Balanced Druids, and Death Knights. Take a look at these new ghoul models data mined from the PTR files. I'll have some additional animation and visual update videos linked in the information below. 7.2 will add a new raid to the game, the Tomb of Sargeras. Tomb of Sargeras will feature 9 bosses, including the final boss, Kil'jaeden. This raid will drop tier 20 loot, which is heavily inspired by tier 6. The Tomb of Sargeras will not actually be available to raid the day that 7.2 goes live. Instead, we're going to get the storyline leading up to the Tomb of Sargeras, similar to how Insurrection led to the Nighthold raid. This means that while the files are being added in 7.2, we probably won't see Tomb of Sargeras until a later patch, maybe 7.2.5 or something like that. I'm sure that no one is particularly surprised that new World Quest will be added in 7.2, but did you know that World Quest rewards in 7.2 will be scaled from 845 to 860, and that Profession World Quest will sometimes grant players skill points in that profession? In addition to new World Quests in 7.2, we are also going to be introduced to an entirely new outdoor questing zone. And this goes back to what I was talking about a minute ago with the Tomb of Sargeras, because the outdoor questing zone is where we're going to do that thing. Also, it's not really new because we've been there before. We're returning to the Broken Shore to establish a foothold and to battle our way through the Legion's defenses to reach the Tomb of Sargeras. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have to fortify ancient elven buildings like the Nether Disruptor, the Command Center, and the Mage Tower, which will each provide unique benefits so that us, along with our new pals, the armies of Legionfall, can fight through the burning Legion forces and go in there to take down Kil'jaeden, because screw that guy, am I right? In addition to the new Broken Isle outdoor zone, world quests, storyline quests, Order Hall campaign progression, 7.2 is also going to be reintroducing Legion invasions. This time, instead of the Legion invading Azeroth, they're going to be invading the Broken Isles. And the world should feel more alive than ever because these invasions are going to really shake up the routine. While an area in the Broken Isle is being invaded by the Legion, all of the world quests are going to be disabled, sort of like forcing players to really acknowledge what is going on around them. In the 7.2 Legion invasions, players will not just be fighting invaders on the ground. There'll be a new 3-player scenario which will bring players up in the sky to fight the Legion in their, like, evil spaceship things. Because in 7.2, you can run, but you can't fly. I'm not sorry. Players will finally be able to fly in Legion content once 7.2 comes out. Broken Isles Pathfinder Part 1 is available now, and Part 2 will unlock with the new patch. Part 2 requirements are actually not that bad. Of course, you're going to have Part 1 done, and then you're going to have to complete that new Legion Fall campaign. You're going to need to do all of the outdoor world content associated with 7.2. You're going to need to explore the Broken Shore, and you're going to need to gain reputation with the armies of Legion Fall faction. It's not that bad, I promise. If that does sound like a lot to you, take a little bit of comfort in knowing that it is an account-wide achievement, meaning once you have unlocked Legion flying on one character, any of your characters in Legion content will be able to fly. Not only will players be able to fly in 7.2, they'll be able to fly on new epic class flying mounts. These can be earned by completing all of the 7.2 Broken Shore and Order Hall campaigns, as well as becoming exalted with the armies of Legion Fall. These awesome class mounts feature many unique tints for different specs or races. Now, if you see that your class only has one tint right now, don't rage just yet because it's already been confirmed that more tints are coming. On top of color variants, many of these mounts have unique footprints or trailing effects, and all of them have custom summon and dismiss spells. In addition to being able to fly in the Broken Isles and having the opportunity to earn an epic class mount, hunters who complete the Legion Pathfinder Part 2 achievement will also unlock the ability to tame beasts with wings like hippogriffs and griffins. Since we're kind of on the topic of mounts and flying, I had to show you guys this awesome Zeppelin mount that was found in the 7.2 data. No word yet on how we'll be able to obtain it or maybe craft it, but it was too cool to not show you guys. Too freaking cool. Believe it or not, on top of everything we've already covered in this video, 7.2 will also be adding a brand new dungeon, the Cathedral of Eternal Light. This dungeon will be located at the top of the spire of the Temple of Elune, directly above the Tomb of Sargeras, which can obviously be found below the Temple of Elune. Now, what's really cool about this dungeon is that it will be introducing different armor sets, dungeon armor sets, for every armor type in the game, which is kind of awesome. In 7.2, heroic dungeons will have their difficulty and loot scaled to keep the content more relevant. The Mythic Plus system is also going to be updated and scaled a little bit, plus they're going to add some new affixes like bursting, which will cause mobs to explode on death. Blow. Excuse me. Karazhan will see some major changes in 7.2. It's actually becoming 2 dungeons, Upper Karazhan and Lower Karazhan. These will have queuable heroic difficulties as well as a mythic keystone option. On that kind of similar note, Archway and Court of Stars will finally be given a queuable heroic option as well. Since this is Legion and we use artifact weapons, of course 7.2 will be bringing some stuff for artifacts. There will be the continuation of our artifact quest line, as well as new artifact traits, including a utility trait and a golden trait for every class. There's also going to be new artifact empowerments, which is basically a fancy way of saying that our 3-point traits are going to have an additional point in them. Plus, we're going to get new artifact knowledge levels, and we're going to get new artifact relics, which will modify more than one trait. So 2 traits. I think it's just 2. I don't think it's 3. Multiple. More than 1. Plural. 7.2 will also introduce new solo content-based artifact appearances. That was a mouthful. These will be earned by completing difficult class challenges which prove dedication and mastery of your spec. The developers were inspired by how players earned things like Benediction and Green Fire. These appearances will be really hard to earn, and if you see a player with theirs, you'll know they're good. In 7.2, crafted gear's base eye level has been changed from 815 to 835. This does not backdate to gear that was crafted prior to 7.2's release. On a similar note, the Obliterum Forge will no longer have a prerequisite quest line for players to be able to use it, and the Obliterum cap has been raised to 875. Once the patch goes live, everyone's least favorite Pandaren chef, Nomi, will offer new prepared ingredients as part of his work orders. This will allow players to queue up to create 10 servings of a random recipe that they already know. Hopefully, they won't all be burned, but I'm not holding my breath. In 7.2, scribes can expect new Vantis runes for the Tomb of Sargeras as well as Legion dungeons. Now, those Vantis runes will cover the entire dungeon, not just single bosses within the dungeon. It's not particularly surprising that 7.2 will be adding new legendaries, but I think it's a little less expected that some of those legendaries will be crafted, although right now they don't look very good. I mean, it could change before the patch goes live, but right now they look kind of bad, like not good at all, like terrible. Patch 7.2 will introduce a new PvP season along with new PvP mount rewards. In addition to the PvP season and the mounts, 7.2 will also introduce entirely new game modes called PvP brawls. These will be weekly custom arcade-style games similar to Overwatch or Heroes of the Storm. Some of the examples we've been given are South Shore versus Terran Mill, as well as Warsong Gulch, where you can capture the flag while the enemy has your flag. There was a gravity lapse where, you're floating around a little bit and gravity isn't working quite right. They also gave the example of Winter Arathi Basin, where visibility is very limited, and my personal favorite, large-scale arenas, aka Team Deathmatch. We're getting Team Deathmatch, boys! It's time! Now's our time! Moving on from PvP, a really cool little thing that was found in the 7.2 data is this little Illidari model of Pepe. It's based on Sepish art, and it's the best thing ever! Still on the topic of really cool things in the data, check out this little Hearthstone elemental pet. I really need this. I don't know if it's a cross promotion. I don't know if it's a shaman thing, because as a shaman, I see elemental and, extra hearth that says shaman to me. I don't know. I want it. Yes, I do. 7.2 is also bringing a bunch of quality of life changes to World of Warcraft, including the long-awaited fixes to tab targeting. Once 7.2 goes live, players will no longer be able to accidentally tab to a target that they aren't in combat with, and you'll no longer be able to accidentally tab to a target that you cannot see. But don't worry, if you're a hunter, your barrage will totally still hit targets you aren't in combat with, and targets that you can't see, so no worries there. 7.2 will allow players to set a specialization to an equipment set in the Equipment Manager. Finally! In the world of Transmog, 7.2 is adding a Sets tab to the Transmog UI so that you can track your matching armor sets. You're also going to be able to control-click on an ensemble to preview it in a little window so you can see what the heck you're getting, which makes a lot of sense, and I'm surprised it took them this long. Another quality of life change coming in patch 7.2 is an Open All button on the mailbox. It only took 13 years. The spellbook will also be getting some quality of life changes in 7.2. Once the patch goes live, if you open up your spellbook and there's an ability that hasn't yet been dragged onto your action bar, it'll be highlighted in your spellbook. Alternatively, if you are looking for something on your action bar and you can't find it, if you hover over it on your spellbook, it will be highlighted on your action bar. And finally, the change that everybody's probably most excited for is that mages, hunters, other classes with pets will now be able to drag their pets' abilities onto their action bar. It only took 13 years. One of the coolest things coming in 7.2 are pet battle dungeons. And I know this is going to be one of those things that people either really care about or they do not care about at all, but I happen to fall in the really care about category, okay? Alright, so pet battle dungeons are awesome. They're like multi-encounter pet battles, and then at the end you can get some prizes. Right now there is only one available for testing. It requires that you have one level 25 pet, and at the end you can earn damp pet supplies, which include all different things, or can include all different things, including some pets, but I think there's going to be more than the one that's available now, because it's Wailing Caverns, and it's not like queue up and then end up in Wailing Caverns. It's like go to Wailing Caverns on your own. So I highly doubt that Blizzard is going to be sending Alliance players smack dab to the middle of a Horde city to pet battle, but what do I know? I am just excited to see what these are like and learn more about them and see what other rewards and what other dungeons they do, and I'm just excited. I like pets, all right? I like pets and I'm not ashamed. And last but certainly not least, patch 7.2 is not the final content patch of World of Warcraft Legion. In fact, we already know that after 7.2, we will be headed to Argus, the homeworld of the Burning Legion. And contrary to popular belief or rumors or what you may have heard, Argus is not an expansion or a leveling experience. It is patch 7.3. There will be instanced content and raids, questing, storyline stuff, other stuff. It's gonna be awesome. It's supposedly the capstone of the Legion experience. So I'm very excited to see kind of how our story ties up and leads us into whatever is next. You know me, I'm always on that hype train. Choo choo. And that is it for my video of 39 things about patch 7.2. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you would like to learn more about anything I talked about today, there'll be tons of links in the information below. In the meantime, though, let me know in the comments which you're most looking forward to in Legion. For me, it's gotta be like the raid or flying or class mounts, although I do play a shaman, and while everybody's saying the shaman mount is awesome, I have ethical dilemmas about it, because as a shaman, we are asking the elements to be our friends and to help us, not to put a saddle on them and ride them. It just seems not very, I don't like it, man. It doesn't seem right. I don't appreciate it. Maybe if it was like in the shape of a horse or something, or like a bird, or like an elemental bird or something, I would feel better about it, but I don't really feel great about just like saddling up an air elemental. It just doesn't seem right in my book, but that's just my stupid opinion. I am gonna go, if it is the future times, I may have more videos. I know I will. It kind of depends on when it's the future, but I do plan on making more videos going in depth about Tomb of Sargeras, in depth about Legion flying, class mounts, how you can earn it, all of the things, as well as everything 7.2 related. It's gonna be a huge patch. It's not gonna be out for a couple months. I know that's something that a ton of people are gonna ask. I don't know when it's coming out, a couple months at least, but yeah, this is all the things. The intro's getting long and weird. I'm gonna go. If you enjoyed the video, please thumb it up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have a wonderful day. I love you all. You're my hearts. We'll see you soon. Goodbye. 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 Ah. TLDR, things that's a present from past you to future you. Yeah. Do what you will with that information. With the armies of Legion fall to take down the Burning Legion. Yeah. Part 1 of the Broken Isles Pathfinder achievement is available now, and part 10 out of 10. I approve. I am Panzer and I approve of this. The cherry on top of the Flying Sundae is that you're also going to be able to earn an epic class mount. This is Legion, gosh darn it, and we have artifact weapons, so of course there's going to be some new stuff for artifacts and new artifact relics which modify more than one trait. Since this is Legion and we have artifact weapons, gosh dang it, of course, 7. The Obliterum Forge will no longer require a questline for players to use it. And the Obliterum Cap, whole dungeon, big dungeon, they're kind of bad. And participating in them because I love pets. Shameless, I don't even care. I have a lot and I love it. I love it.